Okay, welcome back to Twin Stick Garage. Another Saturday and another week of fun trying to get this truck looking like the one used in the Smokey and the Bandit movie.
We'll bring it back no matter what it takes.
So we are getting closer.
We, the royal we, you know, the editorial.
I'm getting closer. Everyone keeps criticizing that I say we in videos instead of me. So I'm working on the wiring. I had a hell of a time. I had to end up calling a friend, so thanks Carmen for pointing me in the right direction. I had an issue with the wiring. Truck this old had some bad ground, so I had to run some new ground wires, and I ended up actually getting them working in my evenings though, so that was kind of cool. I'm learning a lot about wiring a Kenworth. Yay, they still work. Now the one thing I'm still struggling with though is the brake lights. So that's, I'll get into that later in the video. I think I've got a solution for that. It's a little bit hillbilly, but I think it's gonna work. And what else we got going on? A couple of the wheels mounted. Of course, those are the new tires I got from Ohio. Mounted on the old solid and safe split ring rims. All right, so I'm just here at Cal Tire picking up my babies. Isn't that nice? So I'm gonna load them up. We got 8 done, but 2, there was an issue with 2 of them. So that's why we didn't want to use this ring, because this one's just rotten and it's cockeyed as well. Unsafe. So still looking for 2 more rings. I'm hoping my friend Jeff in Montana can score me a couple rings and FedEx them up to me. But the plan now is I'm gonna load these 8 up on the trailer, and we'll drop 6 off at Spectrum to be polished. But yeah, coming together. And look at that, he even balanced. He had them fully aired up for about a week, and he balanced the 2 steers. So I shouldn't have the old shimmy going down the highway. Man, those look good. Now they actually had them fully aired up at, what's the rating on here? I think it's 85 on these tires. So they had them aired up at 85, and they left them for about a little over a week, and then they hit on them with a hammer, and they just validated that they hold air. But then what they have to do from a safety perspective is, I guess OSHA policy is they have to lower them down to like 20 or 25 PSI. So they're not as dangerous now, but for transport, you can't have them fully aired up. So I gotta mount them on the truck, and then I'll air them back up to 80 or 85. Man, split rings are fun. Then I dropped the 6 off at Spectrum to be polished, along with the movie correct battery cover and toolbox covers. I'm just here at Spectrum. I'm gonna drop off the wheels for some shine, and then the proper movie correct toolbox covers. I'm sure these guys will get them looking like brand new. So we'll just hang out there. Stopped in at Lesco. They're gonna hook me up with a whole new custom exhaust. So I can't wait till that's ready. Don't worry, it's gonna be straight pipe. We're gonna get rid of that muffler. And what else? Still waiting on the pinstripes. The boys at Fleet FX are just slammed now. So I'm still waiting for Graham to come back and put the final pinstripe on so the gold is finished. Then I can put the exhaust on. The air cans, I took the brackets over and the rings over to Impact Coatings, and they're currently getting that done. Now that's gonna be in black. That won't be in chrome to match the movie truck, so that's one thing's gonna be slightly different, but I couldn't find chrome ones that were the right diameter that were in decent shape, so just gonna use the ones I have. They'll be black, they'll be fine. Can't be perfect, gotta be a few things a little different. But yeah, it's coming along. So today, what I wanted to do was, I bought a bunch of parts from Fleet Brake. Awesome group of folks there. They even put a twin stick sticker up by the till, so you guys are mint. If you ever need parts, go to Fleet Brake. I find out of all the truck parts suppliers, they're probably the most economical. I got some mud flaps. I got the original mounts, which are ugly as hell, but they match the movie truck. Again, the Kenworth used in the movie was kind of the cheaper version. It wasn't kind of the blinged out yellow Kenworth that you saw at the beginning of the movie.
Hey Kirk, how you doing?
Hi there.
Nonetheless, we're gonna make it like the movie truck, so we can reuse these brackets. And I got the hangers for that, got some mud flaps. What else? We gotta put in the pogo stick mount. Got a new pogo stick, got some new air lines, so we can hook onto the trailer and wire that. What else can we do today? Probably the mirrors. I'm gonna try and get the mirrors on there, and I did get mounts for the CB antennas, the movie correct CB antennas. So yeah, just a bunch of work. Oh yeah, check this out. Got the new lights put on there. But of course, the one in the movie, the 73 had red backs.
Frog feet red.
But the 74 had orange. All right, I like to start small with easy jobs. Let's see here, something like that, so we don't wreck this. It's funny because no one wants incandescent bulb lights anymore. So Tina at Lesco, she had to order these in. I think they were like $14 each or something. Okay. Oh yeah. That is how it's supposed to be. Now, I don't know if this is legal. I think you're supposed to have orange on the front and red on the back, but if I get pulled over for this, I'll just say, it matches the movie. Oh yeah, and what do you think of my Backsaver 3000? So this is a custom gantry crane that Dawn Gratz actually welded up for me. I can't thank her enough for it. And she's a big fan of the channel, and she started watching about a year ago, and she actually helped out by welding up these custom tank bands. Gratz Manufacturing can cut, weld, build just about darn near anything out of metal that you can think of. And she had some steel laying around, and she picked some stuff up, just kind of patched it together in her spare time and welded this all up, and man, did it ever turn out awesome. Got it powder coated, sandblasted, powder coated, and I love the red. It's so awesome. So she built this kind of a little longer on the one side. The idea would be, like, let's say I wanted to lift that fifth wheel. So I could lift it up, and then I could swing it over on the beam trolleys, and then bring a truck or a trailer in here and set it down. So that way, also she put that eyelet over there, and said if you get too much of a load on the one side, you could strap down to one of your trucks and keep it from tipping. So that's pretty slick. It's been load tested for 4,000 pounds. I bet it's good for even more than that. I mean, God forbid I ever have to swap an engine out or swap that A for a Minty B block that we crank up. That would be the piece of equipment that could do the job. It'll also help me, like, it's on casters, it's tall enough to fit over top of the stacks, yet low enough to get under the heater and the fan. It's wide enough to get around a truck. I can spin it around. It's pretty heavy, but I can actually move it by myself. So what I might do, I maybe get the Pete out of here, and I'll wheel this thing over, and we'll try it out, and I'll wheel it forward, and then when I get the exhaust from Lesco, I can use the chain falls to raise it up and hold it in place, so I don't have to try and lift it with my back. So thanks again, Dawn. I really appreciate you looking out for me and keeping me safe. I can't thank you enough. All right, so this might look a little ghetto, and it's temporary, but what was happening was there's some kind of draw on this truck, and it's draining my batteries. So what I would do is I'd come here and disconnect them all the time, and that got a little old, so I put in some disconnect switches, and that way I can just simply take the cover off and give them a flip. Now these normally are mounted, like, I'll probably drill the holes and put them back here so you can access them and turn them off outside the battery box. I don't have to take the cover off. But again, I'm trying to get to the show, and I just don't have that gauge of wire right now, so we'll fix that at a later date, but that's slick. Okay, and I'll zip tie this up so these guys don't touch the positive. And I was over at my favorite parts store there, Princess Auto, and check this out. They've got, I guess you can invent a better mousetrap. These are zip ties, but they've actually got a release button, so you can take them off and reuse them. Isn't that slick? They should sponsor Peg and give them a bunch of these, but that is pretty cool, because until now zip ties were a one and done kind of deal. All right. Okay, so turn those off, and then I had a sponsor reach out, Topdon, and they sent me this Minty intelligent battery charger and a jump starter. So hopefully we don't need this, but we'll bring it to the show anyway if I finally get this truck to the show and I forget to turn these off one night. But yeah, we'll go ahead and try out this Topdon charger, and we'll top these batteries up. Oh, look at that, 35%. So I figured that one was a little low. That is slick. So thanks again, Topdon, for sending me that charger. We'll just let that sit there and grind away. But, so you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So I was actually, I'm not one for usually reading instructions, but I just leafed through it and it said there's an app. So you download this TB6000 app and it actually talks Bluetooth to the charger, and it's got different charging functions, and you can see the power and the voltage as the flow is going in there, and how many amps. You could change the rating on how quick you're going to charge it. There's testing options, battery test, charging test. This is pretty slick. Oh, look at that. Even a travel case too. That's sweet. Oh, that's a big boy. Output, power. Oh, it's already at 75%. Slick. Oh, look at that. It's got a little light on it and everything. Engine starts, so that's where I put those on to give it a boost. Oh, you can hang it. Yeah, that's slick. So we'll keep that in the truck. Keep that handy so we can give the old girl a boost if, like I say, if I drain the batteries. Okay, on to the next thing. So as I was saying, I ended up getting the signal lights working. So I got left and right, so we're good there. But I'm struggling with getting the brake lights when I step on the brake to light up in the back. So as I mentioned at the start of this video, Carmen helped me out and he said, well, I said, where is it wired? Is it down in the brake treadle underneath? And he goes, no, it's up on the, in behind the dash, and it's a sensor. So this is the guy here. So what it does is it senses air pressure, I think it's around 5 psi, and it makes the connection and allows electricity to flow through back to the taillights. So I found this one, and I hot wired, I jumpered across, and I got the taillights to work. So I thought, okay, we're in business. So the taillights work. But then what was happening was I would only get air when I would use the brake treadle here, the trolley for the trailer. You can hear the air blowing out of there. So that would work. So when I pull this down, I'd get brake lights. But when I step on the brake, there'd be no airflow out of there. Even when we turn off the, or disengage the parking brake, same thing. Step on the brake, no airflow out of that deal there. So I thought, okay, got to figure something else out. So I looked around and I tried that one there. If you can't see it because of the light, there it is. That one there isn't, that must be like a low alarm, low air buzzer. That one is for the light to indicate when you flip the switch there for your power divider. So and there's no other air valve here. So I thought, okay, well maybe I could tap in somewhere that senses when brake pressure is applied when you step on the pedal. But then I went, well, wait a minute. When you step on the pedal, you actually engage the relay at the back of the truck. So I went to my handy manual and I took a look at the relay valve. And so you've got your service and your supply and the exhaust and then delivery. So it's the third one around the side there. So now I've got two relays on the frame here, and that one, it's already in use. But this relay here, we just had a plug in it. So I thought, well, if I step on the brakes, this will be delivery, so that it'll get air pressure here. So why don't I mount one of these sensors in there and wire it up to the dash? And sure enough, I ran some test wires, and I just put this guy in here, and sure enough, it worked. So again, a little bit of a redneck fix, but it'll work. So we'll hook up these wires, we'll hook up the sensor, and we should have taillights. Okay, so this probably isn't the right way, but it's my way. All right. Well, did they work? Okay, so next I'm trying to figure out how to set this up to pull a trailer. And it's getting to be where I don't have any bench space anymore because I'm working so hard on the truck, I don't really take a lot of time to clean my shop, but that's okay, we'll worry about that later. So if you're calling the previous episode, there's I don't know if it's a balance valve But it's, so we got tractor emergency and tractor service. So this was the valve that was on the trailer. Not on the trailer, come on Mark. It was on the headache rack and I couldn't get it off of there. So Fleet Brake had a new one of these. They're coreless, which is kind of cool. So I don't have to take what broken pieces I had on the other one. So I think it's just it looks just like a bit of a balance valve between the two. I don't know. I forget it's been probably 30 years since I've taken my air brakes course. But either way, I figure I need this. I gotta go take a look at which is input. I think this is input and this is out. So the lines on the truck come into here and then they go out. I'm gonna have to connect a little short piece of line. Maybe what I'll do is I'll bolt it on this. Figure it out. Maybe I'll bolt it on the truck somewhere. And then I'll run, so bring the lines in, then the short lines go to here, and then this is where your red and blue for your trailer go. So I gotta do a little bit of plumbing, and then of course I gotta wire in the trailer plug as well from that junction box. Fun, fun. All right, so this, I think the air dryer used to be up here. So that's where I'm planning to mount the valve. And there's already one hole drilled, so we can do something like that. Yeah, that'll work nice. Now what I'm gonna do is a little trick to mark the spot. Just gonna paint the end of the, put a bunch of paint on the end of the bolt. And then it should mark it out. Yeah, good enough. So I know where to drill the hole. Okay. Well, it won't fall off of here. Okay. Now, a little balancing act of tools. So you never have enough, you can never have enough brass. So this is a flange fitting here, so I got a little elbow, but I don't think I have an adapter. It's a little larger. Yeah, it goes up on top. That's the red emergency. So I guess I'll have to get an adapter for that. But at least I can run two lines up to the pogo stick mount. And then we'll string this guy up out of the way. Yeah. Alright, so that didn't turn out too bad. The only thing I'm missing is I need an adapter to put the last air line into that valve. But that looks pretty decent. And yeah, that should work. The only thing is, so that fan that sent me the coiled lines that matched, they had a weird fitting on the end there, kind of a flared end. And at Fleet Brake, they just couldn't adapt it up from that to the NPT that I had, the 1/2-inch NPT that's on the pogo stick mount. So I ended up buying a new line, and unfortunately it's a different diameter. So this one actually was given to me by Sean, the guy that sold me the Peterbilt. So I've had this one for quite a while, but as you can see, one's smaller than the other. So my OCD is probably gonna get the better of me, and, and I'll have to go get a smaller blue one to match. But anyway, it'll do for now. And I reused the glad hands off the lines that fan sent me. So thanks for that. At least we're going to reuse that portion of it. And that should reach the trailer not too bad, because it's all the way back. If I move the fifth wheel farther forward, it clicks in. That'll probably be the front of the trailer there. So I think that's a good spot for the pogo stick. All right. Well, I guess on to the next thing. Oh. So there's just like what feels like a million little jobs to do to get this truck ready, but keep knocking them off the list, I guess, one by one. So now I'm just putting on the new hub seals here. Picked these up from Fleet Brake. They've given me a lot of stuff, or sold me a lot of stuff, I guess, on this episode. You know what, though? If I was smart, I'd probably take that back off of there and paint this black and then put it back on. All right, stop watching Convoy, Mark, and get back to work. All right, this is a kit that Fleet Brake had for the mud flaps. And again, it's nothing fancy. It's nothing fancy, but it works. So those go in like that. Might want to bend them down a little bit. And I imagine there's a pin to try and keep them in from bouncing out. I'll bend it down a little so it's straight. I mean, I'd like to have chrome ones with lights and all that fancy stuff. But again, got to do it right, match the movie. All right, next what I wanted to do was mount the CB and the authentic pace scanner. Now this isn't a 10-4U, it's not the exact version that was used in the movie, but at least it's authentic pace, so that's pretty mint. And what makes it even better is one of the fans out there sent it to me, so we're definitely gonna mount it, but it is stout. It's gotta be, I don't know what's in there, lead, but it's probably 7-8 pounds itself, and then probably 2 or 3 for the CB. So I originally had this, what I don't know, it's a T for building fences. Got it at Home Depot and kind of modified it, and it's a little too light. It's kind of acts as a springboard. So I went back to Home Depot and I got another heavier T, and I've just been kind of modifying it. Dawn's probably yelling at the screen. Oh, that's awful. Why didn't you ask me to build one? But I think I can make it work. Maybe just bend it up a little bit more, because it's kind of, here, I'll show you in the truck. So that's where it goes, something like that. But right now the diving board's kind of pointed down. So if I bend it up a little bit more, the CB and the scanner should be level, and I can bolt it in place. All right. There, something like that. Actually getting kind of toasty in here. Let's try the fan. Oh, it's nice. All right. So I think that'll be much more solid than the last one. And what I need to do now is somehow attach this to that. So what I'm thinking is put far enough forward to give room for the, all right, fan, good work. Pull it far enough forward to get room for the CB cable. Actually, I might get the cable and make sure that I mount it in the right spot. And then what I might do is maybe drill a couple holes here and machine screw it directly into it from underneath, and just hope I don't hit any of the circuits inside. Okay, so I was ready to put some little tiny machine screws in from the bottom. I figure that'll hold it in place, but I can't get too far ahead of myself because I'm gonna have to put this thing on here in order to put the dash mat. And everyone's like, oh, that's not movie correct. Yeah, I know, but it's gonna cover up all this garbage like this mount and stuff, and the wires. So we're gonna use it. Plus I think it looks cool. So I guess what I need to do now, because that needs to go underneath before I mount the CB permanently. So we'll park that for a minute. And then I guess I gotta cut the holes for the dash vents, and then the little slots for those 2 levers, and then a couple holes for the Jake brake switches. The benefit I got going this time is, of course, I've already cut the holes before on the previous cedar brown mat. So just try to lay this out as accurate as possible, and then we'll just cut the holes. I knew the skills I learned in kindergarten would come in handy someday. Running out of steam, getting pretty deep in the old Saturday here, so we'll put the Unisonic in place. Come on, Velcro, do your job. All right, looks like we're about 28 minutes ahead of schedule. Come back. All right, and CB antenna on, or not antenna. Oh, I'm getting tired. The mic. Mercy sakes, putting about 8.5 on me, blowing my windows down. All right, so put that in there. I used a zip tie to try and hold it down. It's there's still a lot of weight there. I imagine it's gonna bounce pretty good going down the road. So maybe I do need Don to help me out and get a more solid mount, but for now it'll work. Okay, let's try the radio out. Nice. All right, well, a little bit closer. With any luck, maybe we'll get the exhaust pipes on next episode. And the intakes. And who knows, maybe even take it for a drive. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. And don't ever forget, if you got it, Chucker brought it.